The fear is so palpable and so real in the NFL, and this is why I think Mac Jones is going to get drafted by Kyle Shanahan. Think about Kyle Shanahan. Dad's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's understood. He beat Sean McVay in the same division head-to-head with backups. Nobody would argue that Kyle Shanahan can't coach. In the 1 year he had a starting quarterback, they go to the Super Bowl. But I think it's real for Kyle Shanahan. The Seahawks look better next year. The Rams have Stafford. Arizona keeps adding pieces. He's sitting there thinking, I need to start winning like now. I can't go with a developmental guy. I can't go ceiling guy. How do I go ceiling guy? I don't have time for Trey Lance to develop. I don't have time. Everybody likes Trey Lance. I've been doing this now 30-some years. I got a lot of NFL contacts. All my guys love Trey Lance. The only question is, he hasn't played really in a year and a half. Mac Jones has only started 1 year too, but it's with NFL coaching. He just played. We just saw it. It was against the best defenses in college football. There's some recent tape on him. That's why I always show the same 4 plays for Trey Lance. We don't have any tape. But here's what gets interesting. So the NBA is ceiling guy. You draft the ceiling guy. Don't worry about now. NFL's, I got to win now. But what happens in the NFL when guy that can't help you now but has a big ceiling is on a pretty damn good winning streak? Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. They were ceiling guys. They weren't ready to start. And they're like winning 75% of their games. Uh-oh. That's the problem. That's what fans see. That's the dilemma for Kyle Shanahan, is that he's always been in the league. Can you play and help me now? And I do think Mac Jones, according to people I trust, can walk in with that offense and win games. And I do think Trey Lance has a higher ceiling and Justin Fields has a higher ceiling, but may not quite be ready to go right now in the NFL's toughest division. But boy, you look around the league and there's an NBA field of the NFL. A lot of these can't help you now guys are running the league. And I really do think about this. Think about Jimmy Garoppolo. And pretend you and I, Joy, we run the NFL team. Let's say Jimmy Garoppolo had never been hurt, but, and we're all watching, he's not great. He's B. He's like a thicker Matt Ryan. He's B. And he'd never gotten hurt in San Francisco, and he did get to one Super Bowl. But in the end, Kyle Shanahan was like, listen, I go against Stafford, I go against Russell Wilson, I go against Kyler Murray. And Kyle was just ready to move on from him. And he'd never been hurt. I think he would draft Trey Lance. Because then you could say, okay, I'm going to get hit in the chops for a year. I'm fine. But with Garoppolo getting hurt, Garoppolo controls this. We all think Shanahan's running the team and John Lynch, and a lot of it's Garoppolo. Is that if Garoppolo never gets hurt and you go to a Super Bowl still and you're winning games, but you've decided inside the organization, listen, his judgment's not great. It wasn't great with the adult film star. He misses throws, was decisions, and you were moving off. It'd be much easier to go with a higher ceiling guy. But that's not the league we live in. Like, I'm not a Mac Jones fan. He looks small to me. His arm is average. Like, if Joe Burrow couldn't move and Tony Romo couldn't move, that's Mac Jones. What made Romo and what makes Burrow to me is their escapability. Burrow, Romo feel like the same guy to me. Burrow, a little higher ceiling. But in the end, neither has a great arm. Mac Jones doesn't. But I think this league is built on fear. I think the NFL is built on fear, is guys knowing if they, even Kyle Shanahan, he may be looking and thinking, I'm not going to get another George Kittle. I'm not going to get another Bosa. I'm not going to get another GM I like that will let me pick the quarterback I like. So I think Mac Jones is going to go 3. It is not the pick I would make, but I get a lot of times, I've always said this about Adam Sandler movies. They're not built for me, but I get why they're made. Barstool Sports, it's not really built for me. I'm in my 50s, but I get the business. Like, I get the Mac Jones pick. I just wouldn't do it. And I certainly wouldn't have given away multiple picks. So if you go back in the last several years, what is the most ready-to-play guy? How's he done? So let's go to last year's draft. Tua wasn't the most ready because he had a health injury. Burrow had only really started and excelled 1 year. Jordan Love was not ready to play. He was a total prospect. Herbert was probably 4-year starter. He played 43 games. He played with some NFL guys. He played SEC teams, Pac-12. He's probably the most ready to play. Probably. It worked. The previous year, it was Kyler Murray, who was kind of a baseball guy, only a 1-year starter. Dwayne Haskins was totally raw. Daniel Jones was actually had a great college coach, David Cutcliffe, 3-year starter, pro-style offense. Daniel was probably the most, actually, you could make an argument ready to play, but Kyler's clearly the best. All right, didn't really matter. Go to the 2018 draft. I would argue Josh Rosen, intellectually, he also had Jim Moore at UCLA, an NFL coach, an NFL offense. I could argue Josh Rosen was the most ready to play. Lamar and Josh Allen were considered projects. Sam Darnold, almost everybody said, didn't get great coaching at USC. So Josh Rosen was ready to play with a lower ceiling. That didn't work at all. You go to the previous year. To that, Mitchell Trubisky, only 1-year starter. Mahomes, kind of a Big 12 offense. Deshaun was viewed as, okay, this guy's ready to play. He's played with NFL guys, against NFL guys, against Saban, biggest stage, and it did work. The other thing is, what does most ready to play now mean? Like, does it mean your college starts? Well, when I look at it, I think that's a component to it. Do you have some starts? But I also think most ready to play. Did you have really high-end pro-style coaching? You know, did you play against NFL players, with NFL players? That argument, Mac Jones, is Sark, Saban, SEC, throwing to NFL receivers, facing NFL DBs and linebackers and linemen in practice. That you could make an argument. That's ready to play. He doesn't have a ton of starts. Trey Lance has the same number of starts as Mac Jones, but he didn't have NFL coaching. He didn't play against NFL guys. He didn't play with NFL guys, and he hasn't played much in the last year and a half. So, you know, what does it mean? Most ready to play? I think it's complex. I think there's a lot of context to it. I do think Alabama players. I think Alabama's an NFL franchise in the state of Alabama. Those guys come out. It's an NFL weight room, NFL coaching, NFL coordinator. I think most Alabama guys are ready to play. I don't know what their ceilings are, but NFL Bama players, that feels like those guys are always ready to play now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.